Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Blah. Hello, hello, hello. Don't you start, Chancho. Don't you start. How's everybody? Happy Friday. Today we will be working on Patreon stickers and stickers that I will be selling, but I'm mainly making them for patrons. Also, I'm having some severe allergy stuff going on, so I'm gonna be sniffing, I'm gonna be sneezing. I probably won't be on too long because it sounds like I'm sick. I'm not sick, but I do have really, really bad allergies. Oh my god. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, right, Ken? Oh my god. Like, both Gabe and I have seasonal allergies. He's more of a ragweed guy, but I'm the mold spore chick. So mold spores have been at the highest level for the past 2 weeks, and I have been feeling it. I have been living off of allergy pills. It's bad. But it's like, I feel like I'm at that point right now where like you've been sneezing so much and doing like the whole nose thing and everything that your body's like, you know what? Let's just make you sick. And I'm like, what? I thought you just had allergies. And it's like, no. Maybe you're just sick. So right now I'm in this in-between stage where I feel like, am I actually just sick? I don't know. So I don't know. Anyway. Your skin hurts? No. Yeah, that sucks. Oh no. Well, remember to lay down. So the whole thing is, like, I looked up the science of, you know, how people say, oh, you're supposed to lay down and rest, and, you know, not to, like, there is science to laying down to rest because then your body's not working as hard to pump your blood up. Like, literally, it has to do with gravity. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Chacho, come here. What are you doing? Get out of there. Do you want that horn? Is that what you were trying to get? Oh, poor little guy. Oh, that sucks, Serenity. Do you work with a lot of people, though? Because I could see, like, if, you know, you exhibit symptoms and all that, they might just be like, yeah, you should probably leave. Okay, so these are the drawings that I'm going to be inking and then turning into stickers. So if you have any questions on like how to make stickers, anything sticker related, if you just have any art questions, you know, whatever, you got questions, just throw them at me. You got problems with your neighbor, you want to see what kind of advice I'd give you, totally do that. That could be fun. Hey, Kristen. Hi, Pylon. Hey, there you go. 1 to 12. You're ahead of the game. Good for you. We always tell people to do that, and everybody knows to do that, but nobody ever does it. So props to you. That's great. Allergies. I'm sorry if it gets annoying. I'm trying to find... Hold on. Let's go use the woolly bears. Like, my mind is mush, too. Like, utter mush. Okay. Let's use the woolly bear stickers as, you know. Okay. Let's just throw those in there. How big is this? Yeah. So I'll make that bigger. Yeah, let's go bigger. F it. Okay. Let's see. Pumpkin. True. 3 concerts, gallery reception, audition for an artist society, masquerade ball. Wow. No, it's great you're planning ahead though. That at least shows that you're able to manage your time appropriately. You look in the future, you're responsible, you're prioritizing. I think that's very impressive, and I don't think enough people do that. So, good for you, man. Seriously. Well, Pylon, it's not an overnight change. Like, even if you think you've got the name, sit on it for like 3 days to a week and see if you still like it at the end. Also, make sure it's available on all social media before you nail anything down. Let's see. And to research if it's anything else. I was trying to make a new craft account recently, and I didn't do enough research and later found out that the company name I had chosen was basically the same as a marijuana company. So I was like, well, good thing I didn't nail that down yet. So it's good to research what's already out there that, has that name. I remember Tim telling us that Von Art was actually, like, on DeviantArt, Von was like a porn account or something. I remember something like that. So he changed it to Von Art or whatever.
I think it's like latex.
He said just porn. I don't even know. I never saw it. But that's why I was like, you gotta look up your name before you use it. Gallery reception. That's great, Ken. Congrats. It must be really cool to have something in there. Okay, sorry. Back to this. Just oak leaf. And get this chubby pumpkin. So I'm not the type of person that likes really kitschy Halloween things. Like, I hate crap that's like ghost cookie jar or, those projectors you put on your house. Like, I don't like kitschy Halloween. I like more just autumn in general type stuff. So like, the corn stalks and I found out these actual bunches of straw are actually called stooks. And I had never known that. I just thought it was like a haystack. Because I type in haystack and, looking for these, and I couldn't find them, and it kept giving me giant, hay domes. And I was like, what's the deal? And I did a lot of research, and I found out, well, it's because they're not called haystacks. That's a stook. I was like, wow. That's crazy. Okay. And a mushroom. Mushrooms are kind of, autumny, I guess. Like, I'm not even going to do this little hot drink over here because to me it borderlines kitschy and, almost assumed. Like, if you think of, autumn or fall stickers, you're probably thinking of what I've seen everyone else doing, which is like a hot drink, a scarf, some carved pumpkins. What other kind of stuff? It's
a wheelbarrow.
No, not a what? A wheelbarrow? No. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Little candy corns.
Of course.
And just candy in general, or skulls. Just really Halloween-y crap. And I get it. If you like it, that's cool. That's your thing. But me personally, I can't get behind that. It feels too caricatured, And
I think it's also not your shtick.
it's not my shtick, no. So I really like the natural elements that occur in fall, so that's why I'm doing more of this kind of stuff. So I have a bit of an idea of the style I'm going to be going for, and the color palette I want to use, but I won't fully know till I get there. And I want these to look like watercolor, but I'm going to be using digital watercolor. So I'm going to drive the struggle bus on that one. We'll see how it goes. Should be okay. But how's everybody's Friday? Stream thumbnail with the sketch pad, a gray frame, original Game Boy. I don't know what you're talking about, Pylon. What do you mean the stream thumbnail with the sketch pad? Oh. Cool, really? That's neat.
But I had those next to it. Sounds here.
What?
Sound like something was on the roof.
No, those are like gunshots. Distilling inspiration on November theme. I might, Serenity. I don't know. After doing these stickers, I got some ideas of just more autumn-y type stuff. It's really hard for me to not do things that are like in the realm of plants. So, like, there's corn, you know, I love corn, there's wheat, all this kind of stuff. I don't want to get too cliche and too boring, so, I don't know. I'm going to have to dig into it. Usually, I start off by just researching the month and seeing if there's anything that's already celebrated or, you know, that occurs in that time. So, like, you know, October I'm kind of, I guess, focusing on pumpkins, but more so on just squash and the spirits that guard them. I wonder if do I even have that yet? Hold on. Hey, Shelby! Oh my god, I don't even have scans? Are you kidding me? Wheat Biller. Oh, Shelby. Well, I'm glad. You're gonna have to bear with me, though. I've got a really bad, like, allergy attack right now. It's driving me a little crazy. So I'm gonna be sniffling and sneezing. I don't think I'm sick. It's just been having really bad allergies the past week. Damn mold spores. I like mushrooms, but man, mold spores. Okay, so October's guardian is gonna be the squash spirit, which is this guy. This one right here. Because the wheat willer, this was this guy. He's at the bottom of the screen. But this guy right here, he actually takes care of all the pumpkins, watches over them. I like to say he skips on them and twirls the vines, makes sure the vines are all twirly. He's basically just a little pumpkin guardian, or squash spirit, I call him. It's got like a butternut squash head. Yeah, Pylon, oh my god. I hate October through January. Because, you know, it's Christmas, it's Thanksgiving, it's Halloween, it's New Year's Eve. It's too much. It's really too much. I'm trying to enjoy this Friday, Shelby, but the allergy thing sucks. But it is, like, perfect weather out. It's chilly. It's rainy. I really like it. I just wish I could enjoy it a little more. Do it, Pylon. Oh, thank you. For anyone who's subscribed to me on Twitch, I found out I can't just turn off subscriptions, because I actually would like to. I feel really bad that people are subbed to me on Twitch, and I don't really do much with it anymore, like just Twitch in general. So I would much rather have, if you're subscribed to me here, I would rather have you go over to my Patreon and just do the dollar tier. I'd rather have $1 on Patreon than $5 on Twitch.
You don't even get $5.
Well, yeah,
That's the
we don't
problem.
even get $5 either, but
So really, like, it's like they're just, with, how much is your lowest tier?
$1
$1? Yeah.
on Patreon?
Well, I was gonna say, I think you,
Well, I'm just saying, if you do it on Patreon, at least you're getting something, because in my dollar tier every month, I give out like a coloring page, a calendar page, and that's just for, you know, Patreon people. I don't do anything else with those. And you get device wallpapers of, you know, my popular pieces and stuff like that. So I just hate that I only stream once a week. Twitch has really fallen, I think, with creatives in actually being, you know, a source of income. So, you know, the gamers are still okay, but I think creatives have really been suffering this year. So if you are subbed here, I would much rather have you over at a different place where you actually get something, because I've got this guilt going on. And yeah, anyway. It's been 7 p.m. for hours. Oh, it's dark out? I totally get that. I kind of like that, though. See, I'm one of the people that really enjoys when winter's really dark and gets dark quickly. I love that crap. Like, I just think it's so neat. Because it doesn't really happen, you know? It feels really special for some reason. So right now I'm going through all my designs and kind of cleaning them up. For inking, basically. So the difference with me making these stickers and me making stickers like a year ago is I've got a Cricut now, which is like an amazing machine, let me tell you. It is a little expensive, and I would only recommend getting one if you know you're really going to dig your heels into doing this stuff. But it is a really awesome machine. It can do a lot of stuff. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay. I thought I had 10. No? With the little cotton thing here. Maybe I'll still do that. I don't know, maybe I'll do some lines or something. I'll add something else in here. Oh, it's hard to stay awake at work. Yeah, I could see that. Or like it tricks you and makes you think you get to go home because it's darker out, and you're like, nope, it's only 3. Damn it. Okay. I'm gonna select these really dark ones, and then I'm gonna lighten them up just so they're all about the same brightness. Just so when I take them over to the other program, it's not crazy. Enough, and then I can take all those, to saturate them. Nope. Yes, that's Bruni. Bruni's snoring currently. Good ears. We've been waiting all morning for her to take a nap because she has been crazy today. I don't know why. She's just been nutty. Oh no, yeah, I totally feel you, Pylon. Like, I used to get up at 5:30 when I had a day job, and I would, you know, do my exercise, and then I'd go to work, And then I'd get home and I'd go to bed at like 10 or 11 and then do it all again the next day. So I did my time doing the early morning grind. I'm over it. I'm done. The smushy face pupper. The other two snore too, but theirs is a little bit more weird. I don't know, it's more like kind of children's snores. How children snore, I guess? Like when they're really just conked out. Oh, any minute. Hold on. I'm gonna do this a different way. Gotta make sure it's in the right folder. Let's do 2019 10 Squash Spirit. Okay, and these are autumnal stickers. Probably not gonna call them that in the end, but these are the pencils. Alright. Yeah, large is fine. Oh, okay. Well, Photoshop just crashed. That was funny. Let's see if it actually saved it. Zero bytes. No, it didn't. Okay. Well, hold on to your butts. Gotta go back in. That's great, Pylon. Yeah, you're having a good year. Who else is having a good year? Tell me about that. Tell me why you're happy with yourself this year. Let's have a positive thing go. I might have to do all that crap I just did again. Oh no, okay. It did a recovery save. Lucky, lucky. I'm not gonna go as far as I did last time then. There. That's so weird. Photoshop never crashes on me. I don't know why it did. Okay. I'm just gonna do the lightning of these guys. And then we'll go back to it. Damn, Bernie. Oh yeah, and I did this thing too. Hold on. And instead of doing the copy over thing, I'll just do half of this and then copy it later. Just so I'm not taking up extra time. Show you a bunch of ways to do a bunch of crap. That. Let's see if it bugs out again. That'd be funny. That might have been the problem. Coco. Oh, what kind of a dog is Coco? Have you mentioned your internship before, Pylon? What are you doing? Alright, well, it says it worked. Let's see. Yeah, pure stuff. Okay. Good enough for me, man. Good enough for me. just a mutt. Mutts are cute though. Now this is kind of neat. When I was researching all the corn, sorry that was loud. Well, thanks, Desperado. Welcome. Let me see what kind of a. I think I actually want these to be varied. Anyway, when I was researching the corn, it has a brick pattern. So, because some of you have been around when I've explained of how to actually correctly use reference and such, this would be part of it. So you know, you gotta look at the corn and figure out, okay, well, you know, how do I actually do this a million times? Because some people will look at the picture, see a kernel, draw the kernel, go back, look at the next kernel, and draw where it is. Instead, analyze the picture and find out that there's, you know, a pattern. It's, you know, dun 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 dun. So it's every other, it's skipping, you know, and once you figure that out and commit it to memory, you don't have to look at corn again, you know? It's that sort of thing. Same with braids. That's why I figured out this is mainly the only thing you need to know for braids, is this Y shape. Once you have this, you can do braids with your eyes closed, you know? Because you really don't need, also don't ever use the zigzag method. The zigzag method is almost a guaranteed way to fail. It's completely unstructured and not actually a shortcut or a hack at all. But this way, at least for a non-fishtail braid, fishtails can be difficult, but this is just your basic braid, right? And this is also how I do a lot of my wheat. So it's funny that wheat and hair ended up being so close together and like how to do it. So, and if I wanted to be really precise with this, I could just do one kernel and, you know, copy it and whatever. I don't think I want to do that. But I do want to, I might actually do it for the first row. Just so it is a little bit consistent. Because it can save you time, and depending on what you're using it for, you know, you might actually want it to be really consistent. Shit. I keep typing the wrong. There we go. It sucks because the Clip Studio shortcuts and Photoshop's hotkeys are like almost the same. Almost. Okay. So then I got those. And then just to make it easy again really quick, do this. This is part of the whole work smarter, not harder thing. That's cool, Pylon. It's not one of those businesses, though, that goes and steals from artists and sells it online, though, is it? I hate those ones. I get so mad about those. It's like I saw one yesterday that was like, fans of Stitch. Like, it was just a stupid web page that was for, you know, people who liked or had liked Lilo and Stitch on Facebook. And because they like Lilo and Stitch on Facebook, they got, like, basically advertised to by this company. So it's like, really, guys? Really? And those people, anytime you see an ad on Facebook that's like, you know, a shirt for maybe, let's say, Nightmare Before Christmas or something like that, and it's like, limited run, going fast, and are you a fan of this thing? You'd probably like this. they're almost 100% of the time stolen designs, and the reason they're limited runs is because they're stealing it. So if they only do a limited run, they can't get caught with it. So never buy those. Never ever get, like, you know, taken advantage of like that. Because one day that might be your design. But again, another reason not to do fan art, because, you know, you won't have your stuff taken that easily. Jeez. Delete. That. Just sucks because, you know, normal everyday people don't understand that those are typically stolen. They're like, oh, I do like this thing. Thank you, Internet. I get a lot of Zelda things pitched at me, and I'm like, man, I know that's not official merch. Don't even. Probably stole that off an artist. An artist that shouldn't be doing fan art from the beginning, but, you know. Alright. Oh, that's awesome, Pylon. Good, good. Oh, did they? See, that sucks. Like, that's the worst part of the internet, in my opinion, is just the stealing, you know? How much stolen stuff that happens. It's so terrible. Was it an overseas company, Pylon, that stole from them? Because things like Redbubble, Society 6, Cafe Press, do not ever give these sites your art. Because there are people on there that are stealing designs from people and selling them there. So you don't even want to be a part of that community because it's dirty, man. There's dirty stuff happening there. And honestly, I've ordered from Cafe Press before. Their quality is crap. And also, when I used to have a Society 6 before I figured all this out, their markup has to be insane for you to make any profit. So it's not even worth it. Just make your own stuff, you know? And it's a lot better to do it on your own anyway. Like, figure out how to silk screen. It's actually really fun. Make your own shirts. It's not that hard. You can get vinyl designs and put them on mugs, and then you only spend like $5. You don't have to mark up to $35 for a mug, which is ridiculous. No one's gonna buy that. And then just sell them on Etsy or your website. Oh wow. But you guys won, Pylon? Is that what you were saying? Oh, that's great. Good job. At least it wasn't like China. If you're trying to like sue China for ripping you off, sue someone in China for ripping you off, it's basically impossible. Even if you're like a really popular artist, it's impossible. Because there's like overseas laws and things that play into stuff, and it's just ridiculous. Like, there's no way sometimes that you can get your stuff back. I'm gonna have to work a little bit harder at this design if I'm gonna keep these kernels consistent, because the rest of the design is super loose looking. And then if I did actually keep these kernels this way, it's pretty jarring that the kernels look as like regimented as they do, where the rest of the design is pretty loose. So there's a difference essentially in style. Yeah, Redbubble's crap, man. They're bad. Exactly. Yeah, you know what's up. It's really sad. But honestly, in this day and age, if you're gonna do anything, you have to risk being ripped off. And you have to come to terms with yourself and realize, like, alright, if I'm ripped off, I have to know I can't do anything about it. And at least they aren't me, so they can't think of what I can think of. And then just kind of make peace with that, really. So if they rip you off once, damn, Photoshop, then hopefully they won't again. But either way, like, if they rip you off once, know that they can't think of the things you can think of. Like, unless they legitimately hire someone, but I've never known a company that steals to actually start hiring people that can do what they steal. Oh, really, Shelby? Make your own. Go to Joann and get, you know, some stuff for making your own wreaths and, you know, your own spooky stuff. Don't put up what Target gives you. Have fun with your hub, you know, making stuff. You guys can make your own decorations, and then it'll mean a lot more. You know, make a night of it. You know, have some wine or whatever you guys are into, and, you know, make some fun decorations. I think it's really fun mixing and matching like leaves and flowers together. Like, not actual flowers. I don't usually buy their flowers, but like they have really cute little cotton plants and I don't know, lots of cute stuff. I say give that a go, you know. Don't give Target your cookie cutter money. You don't want the same pumpkin as the guy down the block, right? Make your own thing. You're creative, you can totally do it. There you go. Plus, I'd love to see him, Shelby. I mean, who knows? Maybe you make a lot of cool stuff and you keep going and you can make a little shop or something to sell them on that other people like. You know, you never know where this stuff will take you. Especially if you think of a design that's really good and other people like it. There you go. I mean, if you had like 10-hour work days or something, obviously I understand when people can't make stuff. But then I wonder, well, if you don't have time to make the stuff, you know, how do you have time at home to enjoy the stuff you buy? You know? So it's like, either way, you might as well make your own stuff. Yeah, do it. Craft, craft, craft. Crafting's good for you. I mean, let's say if you're not into drawing or something, crafting, I think, can be just as, like, beneficial therapy-wise and, just in terms of like, working hands-on. I think it's really important. I feel like we don't work with our hands enough anymore. Definitely. Pylon, do it. Do it. 100% do it. Like, what's your reason not to, I mean, I think a lot of people get scared because they're like, oh, I don't really want to craft and then have it turn into a job and then I won't like it anymore. You don't have to do that. If you just make a little extra of something sometime, just put it up on a store, on an Etsy real quick, and then, if they sell, cool. Doesn't mean you have to start a business. Don't get scared by that. It just means that you made a couple too many and maybe you want someone else to be able to enjoy them. Unless you start making a lot of them and then you're like, yeah, this is great, this is easy, I've got a new workflow that's super simple, I can make a ton of these in one night and they have good return, then maybe, explore the idea. You might be sitting on a gold mine, who knows? Let's get rid of this over here. Let me do that. Oh, Shelby, that's a really cool idea. I hadn't heard of that before. I didn't even know you did those. Those are great. Go back to it. That's awesome. Especially if you enjoyed them. Hi, Glitter. Honestly, Pylon, I'd probably buy some of those leaf clips from you. Could wear those at conventions. See, that's awesome, Shelby. But like, if you eventually, start doing those and you still like doing them, let's say, you could do, the commissions and have them be an outline. You could have them be black and white, or you could have them be in color, and each one of those is a different, commission price. So depending on how much time you want to spend on them, it's up to you. Just remember, there's no pressure with any of this stuff, guys. It's fun to experiment with things, You never need just one business venture. You can do a bunch of stuff. Oh, Pylon, I'd love that. Hey, Chev. Oh yeah, Pylon, you could totally make leather ones. Like leather feathers? That'd be really cool. I'm sure a lot of people would like those. It definitely does. Oh my god, Butters, your breath is so bad. Honey. You want to get up? You're like gasping. Here. Here. We'll cover you. I like that she likes being covered with a blanket. I think that's really cute. and I know some people already heard me say this, but if there are any of you who are actually subscribed to me here on Patreon or on Twitch, I would much rather have you switch over and just be at the dollar tier on my Patreon, because at least then every month you're actually getting something. Because my dollar tier on Patreon, you get stuff. I just feel really bad that Twitch doesn't really give you much. And I'd much rather have, you giving it over there than here. Especially since I don't stream as much as I used to. I feel like you're really not getting anything, I agree completely. Pylon, oh my god, I used to do jewelry. I know how to make jewelry. I've made bookmarks in the past. Most recently, I tried to make a wreath. That was really fun. It turned out pretty good. I actually thought about making more. I can do flower crowns. There definitely is something to doing more 3D things when you are an illustrator. Like Gabe's making toys now, so he sculpts. I really think having other hobbies other than drawing really help either your crafting hobby, or your crafting hobby can help your drawing stuff, whether it's a hobby or not. All these different crafting things and creative endeavors definitely feed into each other. So I usually try to encourage people, use your hands as much as you can and do a bunch of different things, because everything helps, everything else. It's like having knowledge of, let's say, you've wired some stuff before, right? Or you have some light electrician work. That could help you in another area too, Just knowing a lot of stuff can really translate in a lot of ways. So that's why I try to think that no knowledge is ever wasted. Like, I spent 10 years in the mobile game industry, and then I got out of it. For a while, I really felt like, did I waste those 10 years? And eventually I got to the point, no. Because I can either help someone else who's trying to figure this stuff out, or I'll just always know it, so I can actually still do stuff on the side. Like, you have to think that things aren't wasted, Otherwise you'll kind of go crazy. Okay, Glitter, that's alright. Thanks for stopping by. Shelby, your dress was beautiful. I actually liked that it was super modest, but it was super interesting too. Like, you had lace going on, you had all these intricate designs on it where it's like everywhere you looked on the dress, it had something cool that wasn't on another part of the dress, I liked it. I wired up, installed a ceiling lamp. So if you did that, you might know some basic stuff on how to wire lights, and maybe eventually you could incorporate that into leatherwork somehow. I'm not sure how, but you never know, Like, maybe you'll make a satchel eventually that has, like, maybe a little fairy that's caught inside it. So you could actually, like, have a little light on in there and maybe poke holes in the satchel so you could see that it's lit. I don't know, stuff like that. Your aunt made it? Oh, that's so cool, Shelby. She did a fantastic job. Please let her know. Ooh, stretch silk. Oh, Pylon, that's great. Trying a little bit of a different style on these pumpkins. Different than I normally do. What's she doing? Gabe. See, that's a good sign. Then ride it, Pylon. Go with it. Especially if right now you're super motivated to make a bunch, do it. I think that's really the key with creative things, is to do them when you're feeling them. Because there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to tap into that, well again. So use it while you can. Like the other night, I had to choose between doing these sketches and working on some work. I didn't have a deadline exactly for the other work, so I was like, well, I should make headway on that, but I really feel like doing these right now. And honestly, as a freelancer, that was one of the hardest things I had to learn. Was that, when you've got these urges, or when you have something that's maybe hurting on you that, won't let you work, or, you're having a really good day, get what done you can with what you're able to, So if, like, let's say I was having a shaky hand day, I could either use that as a day to ink some texture, because it doesn't have to be precise, and it could just be, hatching or what have you, where it doesn't have to be perfect and I can use it to my advantage. Or don't work on that really precise thing. Switch over to something else. Because it took 4 years for me to figure out that I'm a prioritizing person. I like to prioritize what's due first and whatever. And when everything is due at once, you have to figure out what to work on. And that really confused me for a long time. I was like, well, if everything's due, how do I choose something to work on? And it stressed me out for a bit. But then I was like, I'll just work on what I feel most drawn to today. And, that'll probably be the best thing to do. And it is. It's always like the thing I should work on that day. And that's been a lot better since I figured that out. This is driving me crazy. Hold on. But that was a hard lesson to learn. Because I always wanted things to have like offset deadlines and stuff like that, so it's, very cookie cutter obvious what you work on, but it's a juggling act. It's 100% a juggling act. Any feather that would make especially good carvings? I'd look into plumes. Like if you could do a feather plume and make it look pretty cool. I think a lot of people like plumes. They have a really good aesthetic. I'm going back to stickers real quick. If anybody ever wants to make stickers, there is one solid bit of advice I guess I would give. Make sure a lot of your designs are contained. And whether you have a machine at home like we do, or you use a company, which, I should really show you guys this. Here. I think this is actually really important to show. So some sticker companies, and just companies in general that you buy products from, can't always do as good of a job as you could do. Case in point, so before I got a Cricut, I was ordering my stickers from Sticker Mule, okay? And from Sticker Mule, I got these. And I remember thinking, damn, these are really far apart, right? That was probably the first thing I thought of, was that, and the fact they have this white line around them. That just killed me when I got them, because I was like, this doesn't look like professional at all. This looks kind of crappy, right? And I was like, well, I've got a whole bunch of them. I don't have to order them again, so I should probably just try to sell them. So I did. But I'm still kind of ashamed of them because they told me I had to have a certain amount of space between each sticker. And I was like, well, that's bogus. You know, it doesn't make much sense because they're Kiss Cut, and I get that. And Kiss Cut means that it's on a sheet, right? And you can peel it off the sheet, right? That's Kiss Cut. Die Cut is when they're single cut like this, and you have to peel them off their backing. So this is Die Cut, this is Kiss Cut. So I was like, well, eventually I do want to do a lot more stickers because stickers are fun. So when we got our Cricut, I was like, well, once I run out of these, I'm going to redo them, you know, for our thing. So I whipped these up yesterday. These are not only taking up the space so much better, but they're huge. And it's like the same size paper too. Basically, it's got maybe 1/4 of an inch, but because I have so much more control over these, I can actually, and I know how it works now, you know, even if they get off center, so they're not actually this thick of a line around them either. As you can see, it goes, you know, further out, so they don't really have that thick of a line there. But that's so if it gets off a little bit, if it's offset, it's still got that outline. Where on here, this just, I don't even know how they cut these. These are just, ugh. I think they're vinyl though. I think that is why I got them. They're a lot more heavy duty than these are, for sure. Because this is just glossy inkjet sticker paper, and this is, I think, vinyl. It feels like it. But, I mean, just this, like, space. The space kills me. It's not a good use of space. But these are a lot better now. So getting the machine has honestly been pretty worth it for us, since Gabe and I really like making stickers. But like I was saying, if you're not planning on making stickers, it's probably not really a good venture for you, just because the machine is like $300 to $400. So it does take a while to get it back if you're not really going around to conventions and such. But for us, it's been pretty good. Let's see. Also, Gabe's gonna be at New York Comic Con next week, so if anybody's going there, you can go see Gabe. Thank you, Shelby. You probably do. I feel bad. I mean, maybe you have the old version though. It's funny because the oldest version of those stickers was probably on par with the good version now, because they were so big and I had them die cut. So you might have actually gotten them during their golden era. Unless you got the sheet. The sheet I was experimenting with, and I was like, oh man, can't do this again. Just because I can't stand like badly used space. Like badly used space just makes me want to die. Yes, the OG owls. What kind of cake did you have at your wedding? Or are you cutting it up?
Yeah.
Thank you. Did you want me to feed them, or are you going to feed them?
No, I got it.
Alright. Oh, yum. I would totally rather have that. I think cake's overrated, honestly. And I feel like people are just tired of cake. So I totally am in, like, if I was there, oh my god. I would have the hardest time choosing which one I'd want. Zerk cups are so smart. It's just sheet cake. I feel like sheet cake always tastes the same. I was like, ugh. Like, if it's chocolate cake, though, I might give in. His chocolate cake is always really good. I think it's just vanilla sheet cake. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. Hi, Eric's. Oh, God. Well, you're the bride. You get to. Let's do that. Don't you start, Chancho. Does mousse count as a cake or a pie? I'm guessing more of a pudding, actually. But if I had to say cake or pie, I'm guessing a mousse is closer to pie? Oh, yeah. Well, the nice thing is they have like recovery things, Serenity, so that is pretty cool. Both Photoshop and Clip do. That's why I didn't really freak out when it happened, because I knew Photoshop would save some thing of it, so I'm happy about that. But thank you for the reminder. That's a good point. Oh, and I gave a reminder to people on Facebook the other day because I did it, but don't forget to clean your keyboard and your mouse if you haven't in a while. I feel like some of us need reminders of that once in a while. Yeah, Twitch changed their layout. They're always changing crap. Good job, Serenity. For which, Eric's? For cleaning? To clean them? Oh, just turn off the laptop and take a Clorox wipe across the keyboard. Just sanitize your shit. Don't get sick. It's coming up on flu season or whatever. Trying to stay away from tangents with this. Tangents in this case can be kind of difficult. It's one of the worst things working with nature elements is it's really hard to avoid tangents a lot of the time. That's great, Pylon. You probably have a really good immune system then. Probably from riding public transit, honestly. The only place I really go that would be a little bit would be the gym. The gym's usually filthy. God, I want to yell so bad and chew people out so hard that get off machines. I don't care how long you've been on it, you touched it, clean it, you know? Oh my God, that, oh, it sends me into rage. I gotta admit, I give people dirty looks. Like, I will give you a dirty look if you get off the machine and you did not clean it. If you catch that dirty look, that's on you. You did not clean the machine. Alright, Shelby. You take care. Be careful, alright? Thanks for stopping by. Congrats again on your marriage. It's really cool. Me too, Shelby. Thank you. I'm so sick of allergies, you guys. Oh my god. It's like being constantly sick. It sucks. It's like, I know I'm not sick, it's just allergies. But oh my god. Let's see. I'm trying to make these more chunky cute than actually accurate. Sometimes accuracy only goes so far. Sometimes it's better to take the essence of an object and try to convey what it is through that than to actually be accurate, you know? So this is the whole knowing the rules to break it sort of deal. Oops. I'm gonna accidentally move that. Chancho, what's up? You excited for dinner, Chancho? He's so ready. See, I don't like that I changed that up. It's like I made a system. Stick with the system. It's like I didn't round off this one. We cook for the dogs and they always get so excited when we're preparing their meal. Oh my god, this is driving me up the wall. Good enough. Oops. Nope, don't like that either. Nope. I don't know if I like that. I don't think I do. Here we go. Try that. Is he barking at the microwave? No, so I even think Chancho has like dog Tourette's because he'll start barking at stuff and then even when it's gone away he continues to like bark, but it sounds almost like a nervous tick, you know? So he's like so excited, the adrenaline's going, he's still kind of buh, buh, like they're aftershocks. Like he's doing it right now. It almost sounds like coughing. So he gets really excited at mealtime to where he'll start barking just because he's excited. And I get that. I'm cool with that. The only time I don't like him barking is if he's barking at people outside. I feel really bad. And I don't try to get mad at dogs when they bark because really it's like they're talking. It's their way of talking. So getting mad at them seems kind of fruitless. But at the same time, like I said, if he's barking at a stranger, I feel bad, especially if they've got like a kid and, you know, I don't want the kid to get scared. So I try to get him to stop, but most of the time if he's just barking, it's okay. But yeah, like when I'm getting him breakfast, I'll be like, Chancho, you ready? You ready? And then he'll start barking because he's like, yeah, Mom, yeah, I'm ready. Like right now. Chancho, you ready? Woof. Is that loud for you guys? Because if it's loud, I can try to turn it down. It's funny because Bruni doesn't really bark much, but if he like gets excited enough, he'll kind of start an avalanche of barking, and everyone will start barking. It's funny though when Butters gets lit, and she starts barking though, because her bark is hilarious. Her bark sounds like just a hoarse woman who's been smoking for 30 years. She tries barking. It's funny. So Serenity, I know you're already $1 patron on Patreon, so like if you want to just stop subbing here, you totally can. Like what I said earlier was, totally fair game. Anyone subbing to me, I'd rather have you over on Patreon on the $1 tier than here. Like I said, Serenity, since you are already $1 patron, you can just stop here, because I feel bad. Yay, Pylon, I'm excited. I want to see what you make next. You've been doing so good. Have a good night, alright? Oh, really, Serenity? You don't pay at all for Prime? Well, in that case, yeah, I'll take it, but just don't give me your actual money. At least not here. I really wish they gave you the option to not have a sub button, but I looked into this. For some reason, when you become an affiliate, they like force the sub button on you. Which, now that I think about it, is really strange. I think it's more a way for them to make money. And I think that's why they had originally made affiliate really difficult to get to. But partner has always been hard to get to. But I feel like they made it easier in the past 2 years so that... Hold on. That's what I'm talking about when Chancho barks like that. But I feel like they made it easier to get to affiliate so that they can get that cut earlier, Because they have to wait as well as you do for you to get to affiliate, for them to start making money. So they're like, well, let's just make, partner twice as hard to get to and make affiliate really easy. Because that's basically what they did. Like, partner is almost impossible for a creative to get to now. There's no way. Like, at least for gamers, they seem to, grow quicker and it's easier for them. But for us, it's like impossible. I've gotten almost every one of the achievements except for the one that's like have 75 consistent like viewers at a time. No way. man, I would have to go like viral someday and then take all those people over here. Like, that's just not gonna happen. So that kind of sucks. No, it doesn't take much at all. Honestly, like Serenity, if you started streaming maybe 2 or 3 times a week, you'd probably get there in like 2 weeks. Like the beginning achievements they have you get are really easy to obtain. And like I said, I think they changed it to be that on purpose. Because they get a cut of your sub money. That's why, like, if you're subbed at $5, we don't get the full $5. You know, like, they take a cut of that, and then, like, credit card companies take a cut. So we really maybe get $2, $2.50 out of it, something like that. So, you know, that's part of the reason I feel like they made affiliate easier. And I think it's another reason that they make it so you can't not have a sub button. Because I spent maybe an hour today looking up if I could get rid of my sub button, because I would rather have people on my Patreon than here, because I'm way more into and active on my Patreon. There is no way for me to do that. I have to have a sub button, and I feel really bad, you know. But anyway. Oh, really? I mean, even if you did it for like an hour, it's, I don't know. Actually, I think that one of the ones is like 12 hours a month. So yeah, just don't worry about it though. Like I said, you don't even want it. It's just another way for them to get money. Starting to understand why adults were always so bitter growing up. So you'd be like, wow, that person's really cranky, blah, blah. It's because everybody is trying to take money from you. And especially now, like, with the internet stealing and stuff, it's crazy. It is so crazy. Maybe this was okay like that. The ham's awake. I have a question for you guys. Are you guys here? Like, just respond with a here or something, just so I don't pose the question no one's here. I'm really curious what you guys would say to this question. You know what, Serenity, if it's just you, I'm totally okay with that. So, the question is, alright, so you guys can weigh in. Would you rather have, like, let's say, this is a really hard question to word. Let's say there's an artist with a big following, right? Would you think less of that artist, and I mean, think if it's you too, I guess, if they interacted a lot with their crowd, or would you think more of them if they didn't interact? Meaning, I have an assumption that artists that are a little bit higher up on a pedestal interact less with people to appear more important. And not only that, but I know a few that don't share their pedestal or power with their fellow artists because they're afraid of either that person making them look bad or they just don't want to share their power. Now, if one of your heroes didn't share power with other friends or like tried to lift up their peers, would you think less of them? There's a couple questions in there, I guess, now that I think about it, but answer any of them you want. I just feel like the artists that don't interact with people much seem to have more of a following. Like they're more popular because they seem unobtainable. You know what I mean? And I think that's alluring to some people. Because I always like make it a point to lift people up. Like I will, have a friend and, put them on my Insta story or something. Like if they release something, I'll do that to try and help them out. Whatever little amount of people I have, I'll try to help them. But I know some people that won't ever do that. Like they don't like to, show people on their Insta stories or anything like that for some stupid reason. And it's like, well, why wouldn't you want to help someone out? I don't know. It's strange to me. But I mean, even if I got big, I would still interact with those of you who have been here the whole time. Eric's like, I would never be too big to not interact with the little guy. I guess, Serenity, I think you're giving him the benefit of the doubt, though, by calling him introverted, but a lot of the bigger artists I know, some are extroverted, they just choose not to help out, people that have been with them along the way. And I think that's kind of messed up. It's like, if you're in a position of power, why wouldn't you use it to help people? I guess is my point. Like, I only see the narcissism in that. The fact they don't want it to reflect badly on them, Maybe that makes more sense now that I've talked it through. And I'm not saying I expect anything, but I mean, it's just weird. I just kind of feel like bigger artists almost have like a responsibility to help up and coming artists. Like, you have a platform with a lot of people watching you. Why would you not, try to highlight some people? And there are a few artists I've seen that actually do like a Monday shout out sort of thing with cool artists they find, and I think that's really cool of them. Like, really cool of them. I think it depends on who you surround yourself with. There are quite a few groups that love to promote the friend and seem to see people out there. Yeah, and Kristen, I think you're right. Someone in particular I know about is always afraid of damaging their reputation. And they used to be afraid of like just one thing going wrong and then everything imploding. So yeah, I think you're right. That is totally a possibility. Yes. Okay, serenity. That's what I was kind of looking for. Yeah. And that's what I feel like. So I had this idea recently that the big artists are only trying to kind of further themselves. So they only interact with other big artists to kind of, you know, try to get the next level up, right? Because why would you even interact with the lesser? You know, they're not going to help you get bigger, right? So I know someone that only really schmoozes and talks to bigger people than them. And then when it comes to lesser people, even their friends that don't have as good of a following, they don't give a crap. Like, they won't help them or anything. And it's kind of frustrating because that it's like you don't expect a friend to do that exactly. You don't want to expect, you know, anything like that out of someone, but you would think they'd want to, you know? So I found it kind of strange. Exactly. And that drives me crazy. And you know what is really sad to me is that seems like the norm, and it really shouldn't be. Like, if Gabe or I ever got big, we know we would help the little guy. We would try to give as much exposure as we could, helping people, like, you know, get a leg up and whatever. Especially those that have been with us from the beginning. It's a way of thanking. You know, it's a way of humbling yourself. But yeah, it's really sad. I don't know, it just feels like a misuse of power, which in general, I'm not a fan of misuse of power. Oh, really, Eric? I could see that. They don't have a fear. I don't think they have a fear of losing reputation because technically, if they're already not safe for work, a lot of people would consider porn having no real reputation, if that makes sense. So they already know what people would think of them, so they can't be hurt by it. Yeah, so to me, drawing porn is almost as safe and monetarily successful as fan art. Because you know if you're showing certain body parts in a certain way, you're always going to make money, right? Same with fan art. If you're drawing what's popular and selling that, you're always going to make money. So I feel like porn and fan art in that sense kind of go hand in hand. You're catering to what's wanted, you know, what's necessary right now, instead of actually doing what an artist would do and you know, trying to express how you're feeling lately and what you want to draw lately. You're instead doing what you think other people want. So that's more of a businessman to me, instead of an artist. I've started calling fan artists business people instead of artists if they're selling fan art, because they're, you know, targeting a specific audience. They're, you know, not really going from their heart. And I find porn to kind of be the same way, I guess. Like, you're a business person. You know how to draw, but you're more of a business person. But I do agree that it is probably based on community. From what I understand about the furry community, they're actually pretty into original characters. I think I've heard they pride themselves on that. and they try to really encourage each other and raise each other up. So from the outside, it sounds like a pretty good community. I don't know a ton about it, but every time I ask, a furry, what is your community like? That's how they kind of answer. But I guess what I'm ultimately getting at is when it comes to your heroes, if you're following someone on Instagram or wherever you like to follow people, and they don't seem to ever share, anyone's work that's kind of below them or anything like that, maybe think about who this person is, because maybe they're more selfish than you think, and maybe, especially since they have so many people, maybe they don't need you. Maybe you should go support somebody that would really like to help other people out, Are you trying to get a connection to the free community though, Serenity, or are you trying to avoid it? Because, both you and I draw things that could be considered furry, but we don't have technically the style they look for, which is like the big anime eyes and the chunky, style. Because in the past, when I've gotten people coming up who want, a furry commission, I tell them I don't do it in the furry style. And I show them an example, it'll probably end up looking like this. And they'll either yay or nay it depending on how they like what I actually draw like. But I think it is good to let them know, that you're not drawing the typical style. I'm not either, Serenity. There's no shame in that. You don't have to be part of a community. In fact, I'm kind of trying to disassociate myself from the community I used to kind of be a part of, I guess. I don't know. It seems like when you're in something long enough, it kind of grows old. But yeah, I never fit in with the people I was kind of hanging with either. I'm a storyteller more than I'm an illustrator. Where I think a majority of them are illustrators with, story elements. But they're not storytellers. They don't actually plan to have stories, But you don't have to feel like you're left out or anything because you're not a part of a community. You could always just be part of your own community. No shame. That's good. I used to care, but I don't anymore because really, doesn't that make us strong in our own way, That's cool, Erix. I'm proud of you. It's really great that you support kind of the people trying to make their dream come true. I appreciate that. And that's what I'm talking about, raising people up instead of raising yourself up more. Gabe and I had actually been talking about this the other night, and I made the kind of the analogy that a big artist that only raises himself up is building a tower that they keep standing on out of clouds they're pulling above them, so it's not stable. It's really, it's just not stable. It's not a good foundation. Where people like Gabe and I, we're not growing as fast as that person. Like, we're not gaining as many followers or anything like that. But we're building a wider foundation that's more meaningful and concrete with the people we meet, that we try to support them too. You know, and those blocks, they mean a lot more. They're a lot more sturdy. They're, you know, it's a wider base because these are all for sure people, you know, that actually matter and are trying to better themselves, and we like to help people like that. Whereas this other way, it's like they're building one block on top of the other instead of making a wide foundation. So we were just talking about that the other night, and I thought it was interesting. Yeah, that's very true, Eric. It's a good point. Ethics are always something to think about. Ethics and morals drive how I feel about artists. Like I said, if somebody actually starts selling fan art that I follow, I unfollow them. I don't want to support that they're stealing, you know. Same if, you know, somebody just, I don't know, steals from someone else, or if I can tell they stole an idea from somebody, I'm gonna unfollow them because, you know, that's wrong. And I don't want to support that, so me unfollowing them is literally not supporting it. So yeah, if you guys ever disagree, even if it's me, if I say something you guys don't, you know, disagree with and you don't want anything to do with it, you don't have to follow me. Obviously, unfollow me. Like, just make sure you're following people that are doing the right thing, you know? Maybe, I mean, even if it doesn't, though, Serenity, isn't it important that I tried to help? And, you know, the thought, and what if somebody did see him? And, you know, isn't that more important than not doing it at all? You know? Like, my intention is to help. My intention is that I want, you know, things for you. You know, you gotta look at people's intentions. So even if it didn't get you 1,000 followers, because it took me, like, I don't know when Instagram came up, but whenever Instagram started till now for me to get 7K people, like, it's been a grind. It's not easy. I haven't been lucky with doing anything viral. Yeah, you up your chances of, you know, getting viral if you're doing fan art, but I'm not gonna do that. Like, so for me, it's a very slow grind. And I think it's like that for most people. Unless you want to sell out, you know? They can be, but they also may not see it. I typically give people the benefit of the doubt on that one. Like, you can guarantee that more people see something if you do an actual post as opposed to a story. So I guess that's the other thing. If you really want people to see something, make sure it's a story, you know. Oh yeah, these corn. I might redo the corn over here. I don't know. Or I might just trace it so, like I said, it doesn't look as bad. This one, though, I think I might have to actually make it this one. Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. She had like a documentary made on her, right? She's a little bit pudgy, had dark hair. That girl? I watched a documentary on her. And yeah, that was very interesting. I have a friend who basically went viral overnight. And, I mean, props to him for being able to keep up. Like, the gaining followers, because he's like over 200K. But he was able to take that virality and keep it going, which I assume most people that get thrown into that can't. Like, they panic, they don't know how to keep it going. Yeah. Anyway. I definitely agree. Some people can't handle fame. But it's like, that's the whole idea, though, is that you don't handle fame. You just keep doing what you've been doing. You know, you shouldn't have to change who you are or anything because that happened. You know? Integrity. Stay who you are. And I don't think they do Serenity. That's the thing. The only for sure thing I think with virality is that you either had like a fucking genius idea or you drew something popular. But like, honestly, the popular thing typically gets more than just even the genius idea, unfortunately. Did you make dinner? Sound like you were cooking. Yeah, and that's who I was talking about with the 200K. Like, he went viral overnight and then he was able to at least maintain it. They don't, though, Eric's. There's one guy I know of that I met at a convention, and I overheard him talking to another artist, and he draws only fan art, and he had said, hey, thanks for telling me to draw, Yuri on Ice. It sells like crazy. He's never even seen the show. He drew it, and it was just a bust shot of a head, and he sells crazy amounts of it, and he doesn't even know what it is. So it has nothing to do with fun when it comes to selling it. I mean, a lot of them, they sell it for money, and this is where they're not artists to me. They're business people, because they know what makes money. And that's not an art, to me, it's not an art morale or moral thing. It's like, artists don't do things for money. They try to get things out of their soul. You make art because you don't have a choice. Like, I really like drawing corn. I'm drawing corn right now. You realize this, right? Because I really, really like it. Now, will it sell? I have no idea. Do I really care? No. Why? Because I really enjoy doing it. So I'm sating that want. So to me, that's what's more important with art, is that you're expressing yourself and the things you like through your originality and your skill. You're not reintroducing things that somebody's used to a million times that will sell, Like, it's completely a business-oriented thing. And it's sad to me because, a lot of people do draw fan art and sell it, and they're like, oh yeah, I do it because I love the property. It's like, no, you don't realize you're stealing from it. So, anyway, I'm not going to go into that again. I'll just put the website so I don't go into ranting. But this is how I feel about it. Anyway. Yeah, and that fan art's okay. If they don't sell it, they're doing it because they love it, and that's the best part. That is the most pure fan art you can absolutely do. If you draw something because you love it and you don't expect money for it and you share it, that's great. That's great, good for you. Though you could have been spending that time on your own personal properties and that would have helped you even more. So it could be seen as a waste of time, definitely. But if you really got to get it out, you can. But I'm just saying, you can actually turn your craving for fan art into just regular inspiration too. People just never go that far. And the key to that is to just kind of dig into how you're feeling at the moment you get the urge to do fan art and figure out what exactly is it that makes you want to draw it right then and there. And a lot of the time you can like distill out an actual feeling or a thing, like an element or an item that makes you want to actually draw. You know? So then you don't even have to do it. You've figured out the thing that made you want to do it. So then that's actual inspiration working for you. And you could sell that and you could, you know, monopolize on that because it's your idea. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've seen a lot from it. But even so, I mean, if you make fan art of whatever they've created and you sell it, you're taking money from them. So if you love them, don't take their money. You can make something inspired by, but don't do their actual characters. And I feel like cosplay is a whole different thing, too. Like cosplay, if you're making, you know, a costume because you feel drawn to this character and stuff, that's great. Make it with your whole heart. You know, if you want to spend your time doing that, that's up to you. Do it. But if you start selling parts of that, or you start selling photos of that, then you want money for your creation when it's not really your creation. You know, it's like an homage versus a ripoff. That sort of thing. Yeah, every group has its problems. Unfortunately, fan art, like selling, is rampant. If you attend as many cons as I do, it's an epidemic, and that's why I get so mad about it. But I always really try to lift up the people who are doing their own thing, because, you know, when everyone's tired of Batman, what are we gonna have? Well, that person in the corner who doesn't sell very much, but has, you know, this whole 14 volume series that they've created, they're, you know, actually creating something new. And, you know, that's the next thing. And I find that way more exciting. You mean one that I subscribe to, Serenity? Like in style or in friends? Which do you mean? My initial response is no. I feel like Gabe and I are very much we're the outsiders in a lot of ways. Oh, in style? Yeah, Gabe and I are our own community, I think. We don't fit in with a lot of the people we used to hang out with. We don't fit into their style or even their goals. Like, their goals are to be in Spectrum and go to galleries and all that kind of crap. That's not us. And it took us a while to figure that out. That's not what we're about. So we don't have a community. And it probably shows pretty hard that we kind of do our own thing and, we're not part of anything. And I think that may hurt us, but ultimately, if we're doing kind of what we want to do, then we don't really care. Like, especially Gabe, lately, he's been doing toys and comics, and, that's not like it's its own community. Those are two separate ones, So I guess that's another reason that it's important to figure out who aligns with you best, because if you're around the wrong people, they can mislead you and you can waste a lot of time. And and I don't mean mislead like they're purposefully misleading you, just how they go about their stuff might seem like it's what you should be doing, but it's not. So it's important to find, your path without being too influenced by someone else's. I guess that is like a positive aspect about art nowadays is you can do whatever you want and basically find a way to make money doing it. Yeah, I guess that's actually a good use of the internet, honestly. Yeah, I could really see that, Kristen, especially with what you do. I feel like 3D communities are a lot more important. Like, Gabe has that exact same problem. When since he's gotten into making toys, there's like no toy making community here. Have you found one yet?
Oh, like in real life?
Yeah.
Like I can go to a meeting?
Yeah. No.
That doesn't exist.
Right. So Gabe has had to make this community basically online. He finds, these groups of people that already exist doing the sort of thing he is. And he basically is like, hey, what's up? I'm doing this now. He basically proves himself into the proving ground. Is that right?
What do you mean I prove myself? Like I gotta...
Like, you don't just cold call them and like, hey, can I join your group?
No.
You do the stuff, and then they kind of choose to include you.
Acknowledge you,
yeah. So like we don't have like a physical one for him here. He'll have to go to conventions and stuff for that. So Kristen, I still think for you it's finding, the right kind of place to sell your stuff. Because Comic Cons and stuff aren't really that. Fairy Con, I would think, is good for that, but that attendance level, if I did bad at a Fairy Con, that means, like, that attendance was crap. So I wouldn't have even, like, gauged that. But, like, craft stuff, I really feel like there's gotta be some, like, almost gallery-style doll shows. There's gotta be. Because your stuff is so, like, high art. I feel like it's like gallery work because you spend so much time on these dolls that it shouldn't just be where kids can throw up their hands and knock them over and stuff, but it should be on like a pedestal or, like you should have a gallery show. Actually, Serenity, we don't. I know that sounds crazy, but Gabe and I are our community. Oh, hi, Neko. Sorry. I saw you, but I forgot to acknowledge. How are you? But yeah, like, Gabe and I, we're lucky enough where we're in the same boat. We don't have similar styles or anything like that, We have similar goals, which, like I said before, was the one Discord that we had with, not an actual Discord, but the word Discord, that we had with our previous friend groups, is we didn't have the same goals. So that actually confused and misled Gabe and I for a little bit. But once we kind of moved away from that, literally, like moved away, we were able to kind of see that just because we are different doesn't mean we're wrong. You know, we just had to find a way to market ourselves and our stuff. So I feel like even if you are your own community, that's enough. Like, you don't need, I feel like, that community. It's nice to have, and yeah, it can be lonely. I totally get where you're coming from, Kristen. But I think when you're alone, because I did go through this at one point, when you're completely alone and it's just you, I think the one thing you have to do more of than any other time is research. And you have to figure out, you know, where your stuff can go and how to do things and how to go to, you know, shows and places and stuff that would fit you, you know?
Or I wonder, even looking up, like, looking for other people that sort of do high-end dolls, like...
For you, Kristen, I mean, just looking through hashtags and finding other doll makers that seem to be doing ones like you. I know a lot of them are overseas and there's probably a language barrier, but also Facebook has a lot of groups still. I'm going to say that's probably Facebook's best asset, is their groups. Like, it's basically just a forum, like a glorified forum. So looking for those artisan doll groups, I think, would be really beneficial. Even if you hate Facebook, let's say, it is kind of worth it. Inktober prep? Nice. Good for you, man. Galleries are intimidating, but I mean, your stuff is so much more delicate and well made than a lot of stuff that's, you know, plush and out there for, you know, $15 for people, you know. I don't think it's bad, Serenity, and I mean, technically we're your community. We're, like, technically I feel like a community is a bunch of people you can go to ask for advice or help, or, you know, if you're feeling confused with something. But no matter what, it's kind of like life. We all die alone, right? You can't bring somebody with you, like, knowingly. We all die alone. But we all know that. So similarly, you're making your art alone. But if you need help, there are people around you that you can, you know, go to and talk to. But technically, we are all in our own little communities alone. But you can still reach out to others. And I mean, some people have tighter communities than others. Some people appear to have tight communities, but they're really just alone. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that. So I think, like, there being this stigma of you need an art community, you do and you don't. You need resources, I think, more than you need a community. And that could be computer people, that could be real life people, that could be websites, anything you can use as a resource. But if you have to do it on your own, you can. Like, don't think that you can't. Like, if I had to do this alone, I could. And if I had to learn all I know now alone, I could. It would just take time and take me digging a lot more. Ultimately, talking to people or community is mainly just going to save you time. But in Kristen's case, if she finds people that do what she does, she can figure out better places to sell her stuff that would get her a bigger return and be more of her demographic looking for high-end dolls. So that sort of thing. I'm going through a personal thing where I can't figure out how to do my part of finding like where to sell my stuff now, because I kind of want to do the kid book thing, but you know, I'm doing conventions right now, and yeah, I get to sell to parents and stuff, and you know, I'm selling those kids books, but at the same time, I eventually want them to go to, you know, actual kids and things. So that's my own struggle. I have to figure out that loophole. And it sucks because when you get into this industry and you're kind of scraping and you're trying to figure out everything, you learn that just because someone works somewhere or somebody has this sort of background doesn't mean that they can get you a leg in the door. And you shouldn't always assume that either. Like, I know a guy that works at Scholastic, but I'm not close enough to him or anything like that to actually ask for any favors, or I don't even think he's in a position to answer favors. It's one of those things. It's like you can't really depend on that. So that's where it's like you almost have to just figure it out the hard way, and just go through the motions and go down, you know, the paths that you go to a convention, let's say, and it's a Comic-Con, and somebody comes up to your table and they're like, you know where you should be, you should go to this place. They have, you know, a lot more books and stuff like this. Maybe you try it, and it's great, and there's a lot more people there that are selling things like you are, and that's awesome, and maybe you luck out and that person was right. But you had to go to that convention first to find that person, right? Or they tell you to do it and it's a bust and they were completely wrong and they totally misunderstood what you're doing and it's a bust. Either way, you learned something, right? And you know what not to do or to do next time. So it's valuable to get out there and start making mistakes and or decisions, you know. And I think that's where a lot of people fail early on. They don't get out there. They just want it to kind of happen. They want that I'm a model in LA, discover me, you know. It's not like that. You gotta grind, you gotta figure things out, you gotta meet people. Which is, you know, for people that don't want to bother with other people, it sucks. It really does suck, but you can't really do anything about that. It's part of the gig. It's part of the sacrifice, and you gotta walk it. Hopefully that helps. Libraries do have conventions. At least over here in the US. A lot of little libraries will have conventions. Gabe just went to one like 2 weeks ago. They are little though because libraries are typically small. But no, Gabe just got back from one. How many people were at that, do you think, that were showing? 20?
No, I mean like 100.
You had 100 artists at that show?
Oh, sorry, you said people.
No, I said people who are actually showing. You had like
less than 20.
Less than 20, okay? So it's not very much, and that was actually one of the bigger libraries that is known for having a little convention. But yeah, over here we do. I don't know about overseas. If I remember, Eric, you're overseas, right?
I think, honestly, like, some libraries don't even know about that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of libraries don't even cater to really the comic community.
But even, like, what I was trying to get at is that a lot of libraries are always trying to figure out ways to get people to come in, and to have a little, like, event like that really boosts traffic for them.
Totally.
So even if, like, you do have, like, a public library around you, you go in there once in a while, talking to, like, anyone there can, like, direct you to,
Yeah, so actually, Eric's, if you want to kind of pioneer something, if you want to go to your local library and, you know, tell them, hey, if you're trying to get more people here, why don't you try having a mini comic convention?
or even just, like, an art show.
Yeah, even an art show, that would help. Anything that's kind of like get the community in here for reasons other than renting books. And that's always a good place to start. We usually tell people who want to do conventions to start at little ones, which a lot of the time we say, hey, yeah, see if your library has a local convention. Because that's a good starting point. It gets you used to people coming to the table, it gets you used to the whole, load in, load out without too much hubbub or confusion. Like, it's a really good starting point. It's very true, Eric. You're totally right. You're totally right. Gabe, when are you gonna eat dinner? When did you eat lunch?
Shortly after you just.
Oh, really? Okay.
What?
I don't know.
Did you ate already, or are you gonna eat again?
I'm totally gonna eat again. I'm starving. I'm just trying to figure out what I'd want to eat. Are those the little girls? But yeah, if you want to bring that to their attention, Eric, they may not have even thought of that. Because it's not really common here, but you do see it once in a while that, a library has like a fall and a spring one. I think the other problem they run into is probably A, not knowing how to run one, and B, getting enough volunteers to actually make it happen. So, I mean, if you can do half the work for them, and say I've got this many friends who are willing to help or some crap, and, do the social media and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could really pioneer something for them, and then you'd be the guy to go to, It's a lot of pressure, yeah, but at the same time, if you want to see it happen, sometimes you just gotta say, hey, I'll do this. And people will be like, oh, well, if you're gonna do it, then go ahead. It's one of those things.
Especially because they're usually free.
Yeah, they are.
Free show, and like you don't have to pay to get in. You don't have to pay for a table.
Yep.
And then maybe they do little raffles of like, books that have been donated or something.
Yeah, they could even have parts of it that are like for fundraising, charity.
And they usually have like a costume contest, and little kids come in and dressed.
It's really cute. But the other thing I know is that a lot of the people that usually work at libraries are, I'm not going to say elderly, but they are a lot older, so they don't even know, what's popular nowadays. They don't know what the kids are doing. This stuff isn't known to them. So if you get in there and you seem like a go-getter, and you're also offering to do the majority of their work for them, I don't see why they'd say no.
Seeing a lot more younger people now, though, and like working at libraries. Like younger people are becoming librarians now. I think because the old guard is starting to
Oh, I think it's because there's a lot of old souls. Like, I thought about it because I don't want to deal with people. And I mean, where are people not? Typically the library. Bruni.
Leave him alone. Bernie.
You gotta go potty? You did have dinner. You gotta go poops? Okay, I think this is ready to take over to color. $500% introverts. I feel you, Serenity. It's funny because I feel like the older I got... No, you know what? That's not true though. It's like I grew up a crazy introvert. In high school, I became more of an extrovert. College, more of an extrovert. And now I'm like this in-between where I super enjoy being alone and I thrive when I'm alone. But if I have to talk to people, I can. Though I don't prefer it. Do you have to do that next to the microphone? You want people to hear you throw up in your mouth? Is that what this is? It's kind of a talent. Oh, thanks, Serenity. Let me change the name of this. Bruni's having a time right now. What's wrong, Nemo? And Papa isn't having it. Alright. Let's see. So, alright, here's that leaf that we were trying to slice up earlier. What's wrong, Moo? Why though? Do you want a kiss? I'll give you a kiss. Want a kiss? Are you just sad because I'm not paying attention to you? Hmm? Now we play the guessing game to figure out what's wrong with her. Oh. Typically, if she just ate, it's usually that she has to go to the bathroom. But it is also raining out right now, so that's a delicate balance at the moment. Actually, I wonder, can I get away with that? Maybe I don't need this one or this one. Yeah, I kind of like that. Sometimes asymmetry can be actually, it can help your picture become more strong. So don't underestimate having something be asymmetrical. Good, Eric. That's good. There are some people that can't really get away from symmetry, and I think ultimately it can hurt their stuff. I used to be that way. I used to have everything be exactly the same. And after a while, and I'm talking when I was a younger artist, definitely younger. But knowing what I know now, it typically makes things stronger. However, knowing how to use symmetry to get across like a feeling or something like that can be very powerful too. Like symmetry can usually be used in horror pretty well, because symmetry, depending on what it is, can really cause some uneasiness, even though it is symmetrical, depending on what it is. So I remember watching a Dead Space documentary, Dead Space the video game, and I remember the art director saying part of Isaac's ship and his outfit, the repeating lines on his ship and on his helmet actually made him scarier, because all those repeating lines, all that detail actually is scary, because it's so busy, so like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just so demanding of your attention, you know. And that's something you also learn with when you do caricatures and just drawing in general. The more detail you add to something, the more scary it looks. So if you want to get really good at drawing cute things, don't put much detail in them at all, right? But if you want to get really good at drawing horror, you put a lot of detail in. Like if you look at a lot of horror art, I guarantee you the most scary stuff is going to have a lot of detail, right? So you can always tell if somebody's a new caricature artist if they're putting wrinkles on people's faces, because you're not supposed to put wrinkles on people's faces unless they're over, I think it was like, if they're over 70, if they look like they're over 70, then yeah, give them wrinkles. But if they're not, don't even do it, because women will be upset. You know, you can't put any wrinkles on a baby. Like, people, oh my god, they lose their shit. It's crazy. So, just keep that in mind. If you're wanting something to appear cute or harmless, less lines. If you want something to look a lot more scary, you add a lot of detail. Like Geiger did that too with Aliens. Yep. A lot of his stuff. He also, another big thing with his art is that he added sexual elements without people really realizing they were sexual. And this is actually a whole nother level of scary, because it plays to your subconscious, because you know that looks like something and you feel uneasy about it, but you don't know why. So like a lot of his stuff has like definite ties to genitals, like it's thought out, but that's what gives it like part of its creepy factor, is he's gotten this to a point where, you know, a lot of his art actually also looks like penetration, which is also very scary for a lot of people. It's just an unnerving topic, you know, so that helps his art remain very scary. Sadly, he died while falling downstairs. That always kills me. Like the fact this horror icon, you know, this fantastic painter, died by falling down a flight of stairs. Like, how sad of an ending for someone so epic. Like, it's so crazy. Well, it's obvious to some of us, Serenity, but I think those of us who see it are probably a little more predisposed to notice things like that. So maybe that's saying something about you or I. But I did do a lot of, like, studies about him. And yeah, that was a big portion of his work. A lot of people don't know, though, that that's why they're afraid of it. It is a very subconscious level. And, I mean, I'm talking about most of his stuff that's in, like, mainstream, because he can't do a lot of the stuff that you've seen of his, probably if you've dug into his work, is a lot more sexual. He has a lot of stuff that is blatantly sexual. But the stuff that gets seen by the public typically isn't that, you know, explicit, obviously. So people never see that side of it, but he does manage to work that in, you know. Oh, see, there you go, Serenity. You know what's up. Oh, Bruni. It's true. Some of his stuff, though, like I said, it's a lot more subtle, and because of that, sometimes the fact it's more subtle makes it more scary. Like, I'm a fan of subtlety in a lot of ways because it can be so much more scary, because it's got that factor that you have to, like, think of. Like, part of the interpretation has to go through you. And that's, I think, when it grows to be more scary. I think that's how I want to do that. Yeah, it definitely can be, Eric's, for sure. Like, I think horror's gonna change depending on who you talk to. Like, what someone's scared of versus someone else. Like, I'm not scared of clowns. Clowns don't freak me out. But I know some other people are deathly afraid of clowns. But it's like, you know, some people, like the movie Arachnophobia, would really F up Gabe. It's a scary movie because it plays on his fears specifically. I don't even know what I'm technically scared of anymore when it comes to the scary movies. I think for me it's more the pacing of something. Like, I really don't like jarring movements, crap like that. I'm that guy. So Silent Hill kind of effed with me a bit. This is a second ant today. Here, go into this hotel. God, you are a wily little thing. Oh no, I might have accidentally. Nope, he's good. God, clumsy shits though, let me tell you. There we go. Dude, get back in there. Hold on, guys. I'm dealing with a mini crisis. I can't just kill him. It's not my way. Oh, honey, I read that book. We grew up with Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I have the books, the original books that those designs are based on. But Guillermo just does a lot of that jerky movement stuff anyway. However, oh god, Crimson Peak was his worst movie, I think. It was so bad. So bad. Like, the ending me and my friend made up when we saw it was way better than what it was. It's just like, wow. I can't believe that. No, what was the last movie I was actually afraid of? I wanted to see Midsummer. That looked cool. Gabe, do you remember any movies I'm afraid of?
No. Besides alien movies?
Alien movies? Not.
Like being abducted by aliens?
No.
Fire in the Sky?
I haven't seen that.
You wouldn't like it. Mothman Prophecy, you wouldn't like it.
Signs freaked me out. Yeah, see, okay, aliens in the sense of it's a very specific type of alien. Like, not Geiger's aliens. Not those. Those are funny. Like xenomorphs, I'm cool with xenomorphs. They're a cool design. They're neat. I'm not afraid of those. I'm afraid of, like, Area 51, 8 foot tall, almond head, no mouth, giant black eye aliens. Like X-Files. Those aliens. I don't like those. I'm not scared to death of them, though, but they freak me out.
You know, what was worse is they had that, like, whenever something scary would happen, it'd be like,
In Signs?
no, in X-Files.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And
like the
you're
mandolin?
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was... Yeah, music's huge, too. There was this huge, this viral video that went around of, like, this horror music making machine, like, that they use for horror movies and stuff, and it's just... It looks like a hurdy-gurdy, almost. But it's got all these switches and knobs, and it's to make all those scary... like string-like noises. Yeah, it was cool. Okay. So we've blocked these out, so now I can easily go in and color them. But I want to have the palette ready. And I'm also going to change the color of the line art, but it's going to be depending on the color on the inside. So let me go see Autumn palette. That's pretty decent. Oh, I really like teal too. Actually, instead of writing in Autumn palette, I'm gonna write in Autumn corn. Indian corn, yeah. Because Indian corn has all these cool little specks of different colors on it. I don't even know how they do that. Do you know how they do that?
No. I think that's just natural.
Is it? Why isn't it all year round?
Well, no, I'm saying, like, that's that kind of corn, and then they have, like, sweet corn, which is just, and I think even sweet corn has got, like, there's a few, like, variations in color. But
Really?
They gotta, like, and I'm sure it's, like, most of it, like, that we see is all genetically modified anyways, so, like, all be one color.
Right.
Whereas I think that stuff is, like, real, actual corn that hasn't been messed with.
Oh.
Heaven forbid we eat something that's got a bunch of different colors.
Yeah, Serenity. I'm a fan of psychological horror. Like, Silence of the Lambs was really cool when I first saw it. I really enjoyed that movie. I'm trying to think of, like, another movie nowadays that has made me scared. I can't think of one. Let's see what. There's a couple ways you can get like color palettes easily made out of pictures. There's a couple filters you can use. Yeah, like you could do this. It gives you more color blocks that you can easily pick, which is nice. So I might actually do that. Yeah, like I don't want to watch movies like Saw or Hostel or Human Centipede. Like I don't want to watch movies that are just like, why would I watch that? You know? I want something to be a little bit more, I don't know, impressive than that. Like I feel like it's easy to make like a gory horror movie. I mean, I could be wrong, but Like just having a close up of someone's fingernail as you're pulling it off, that's even just messed up. So I mean that seems easy to do, but to actually build up a character to make them seem really one way and then you take them another way, and like there's strategy to that. Oh, I could see that. Yeah, I think video games are honestly more scary than movies nowadays. Like, if I had to think of the last time anything in the media effed me up, it'd be Dead Space. Dead Space really effed me up hard. Like, I got extremely scared of that game. Like, so much so I wanted to dig into the philosophy of a lot of that stuff, and that's why I know about how they, created his ship and his helmet and all that stuff. But, like, that game was scary. PT wasn't as scary as I thought it'd be.
But I think because we ruined it for ourselves.
How did we ruin it?
Remember, we started playing it and it was like...
Well, even when we reset it, though, it was like, whatever.
There's just a lot of it was like ruined. I can't do that. Like, I can't do those games. Like, I was even, I was watching like some hackers like figuring new things out about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching them play and show like all those weird things, and I'm like, nah, I can't even watch it. I don't like it.
Well, they revealed that she was following you the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, that was scary.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. That was really scary. That's pretty good. Trying to figure out the stem. Oh yeah. See, I hate that kind of crap. If I can figure out what's gonna happen, I'm already like, okay, done. But I'm not a fan of horror, so I shouldn't, hopefully I'm not making myself out to be one, because I'm not. But I appreciate it if it's well written. I'll say that. Like, I don't seek out horror movies or anything like that. But, and like I said, I appreciate a good one, for sure. Gabe, I feel like you're kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't seek it out, but if we see it and it was good, kudos. See, like Gabe was saying, we kind of effed things up for ourselves because we accidentally started playing it after someone else in the house that we lived at had played it. So, like, it was technically a save of after they beat it. So...
And we played it for like a few minutes, like not knowing, because we didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So we were just walking around and things are like already sort of like...
Done?
Yeah, they're done, and it's like, alright, well, so what does this mean,
Yeah, and we were trying to figure out puzzles that had been solved. Like, we were really stupid. I don't even know how we figured it out.
I think somebody might have came. I think Tyler might have come in and
Told us that, hey, they beat it already.
Oh, no, I think I looked it up.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, I think you did too. I think I remember that. Yeah, I really appreciated Silent Hill. Like, 3 was great. The movie, the first one, was good. The second one was not. But I really appreciated that. Like, the story was kind of crap, but what they did with it was good. And the actress they had, I'm forgetting her name. I think she was white, but she had like kind of an Arab sounding name.
Not Naomi something?
No, you're thinking Naomi Rapace. No, the blonde chick in the first movie.
Oh, Radha Mitchell.
Yeah, Rada. I liked her. I thought she was good. And the fact they worked in Pyramid Head for the fanboys, you know, that was cool. Oh, when Pyramid Head, like, ripped the skin off that chick, that was awesome. Because you're like, oh, what's he gonna do? He's just gonna do something bad. He's gonna stab her. No, he grabs the slack skin on her chest, twists it, and rips all of her skin off at once off her body. Like, that was cool as hell. I just appreciate new things. I think no matter what it is, if it's like something that's done in horror, I don't care where it's done. If it's new and I haven't seen it before, I'm so down with that. That was cool. Yeah, it slams out the church door and it's like splat. No, that was great. Having a relationship with this orange color here. I'm into it. And then I am going to make the outer lines thicker, but I'm going to do that at the end because that actually plays into the overall sticker silhouette and design. So if I did it now, I'd basically have to redo it later, so I'm not going to do it right now. And I'm even doing this part right now with a mouse, just because it doesn't have to be precise or anything like that. I don't know! See, for you, Serenity, I don't know, but for me, like, I told you, I like things I haven't seen before. Like, the fact that that was new and creative, I can appreciate that. Like, I feel like if I had a kid and they did something kind of effed up, but if it was something I hadn't seen before, I'd totally give them props for that. You know? Like, I haven't seen that before. That's awesome. Good job. Like, if they failed in a different way, awesome. Way to go. I crave originality so hard that I will, you know, give kudos wherever it's deserved. Like, if I saw a clown design, let's say, that was completely different from any other kind of clown design I'd seen before, where, like, you could tell it was a clown, but it was so unique that it just was its own thing, that'd be awesome. I'd be totally into that, you know? And like I said, I'm not down for clowns or whatever, but I can appreciate that. Yeah, I could totally see that, Eric's well said. But my problem is, the thing I don't like about horror and why I don't seek it out is because I don't like the paranoia afterwards. Like, I'm the type that would think about it before bed, and I would suffer, you know, and I would be worrying about things, and that's me. So I don't seek horror out because I don't want to purposefully stress myself, you know. So that's my deal, I guess. I'm craving bad food again. know that's not good. Damn, Bruni. And honestly, that might just be because I'm older, and since I have enough stress already, I don't need to introduce more. I don't know. Then not burn yourself. I could see that. Like, I could see a lot of people who are bored, you know, that just with thinking life's mundane or something. I could see them seeking out horror because it's at least interesting. It's something else to look at that's not just on the TV. I get it. I actually share that sentiment, but due to the paranoia aspect, I don't think I would, you know, purposely seek it out. But if that wasn't there, then yeah, I could totally see myself looking at it. The only ones I don't get are the ones that aren't really anything special, but they're just full of gore. And they're not funny about it. Like, Slither. I remember watching Slither. Slither actually scared me pretty good. Even though that was kind of supposed to be like a dark comedy, it still had some pretty scary parts. And I could appreciate that. But even some movies that aren't meant to be actually scary have scared me. True Serenity, or what didn't happen to them that what they wish did. I think some people, especially the people that might have been from small towns or something that make horror, probably just were so bored when they were kids that, you know, they thought of things like this. Oh, what if the town had this, or blah, 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 blah. And I could totally see boredom, you know, being their reason for seeking that out. Exactly, yeah, Stephen King is a great example. He's hilarious. He's a funny little man. And he looks like he's an absolute sweetheart. That I could see. I think, isn't he supposed to technically be like the embodiment of Jack Torrance? I feel like that was kind of an autobiographical one. I bet she just needed a nap. All day. That baby just needed a nap. Our bulldog gets so fussy, and usually it's just because she needs a nap. So we always yell at her, take a nap. You'll feel better. So fussy. Another reason I don't really seek out horror is just because nowadays I just want to feel good if I'm doing something like non-work related. So I just usually go back to a lot of the things that make me happy or would make me happy. Like I watch cute things a lot now. Like I don't know, I just feel like I get dealt so much other horror type stuff that I just don't want to be sad if I don't have to be. Or like, why would I put myself through that sort of thing? Like I said before, extra stress. I mean, I even used to draw horror. Granted, I was in a dark place, but, like, it made me feel better at the time. And I was decent at it. But it's not something I care about anymore. Watching the comments? What do you mean the comments? Like the commentary? Or you mean subtitles, maybe? Was that Butters? Oh, reading YouTube comments, I see. But wait, if you're going down in the comments, how are you actually watching it? Yeah, but I feel like we're the only two people on Earth that don't use YouTube as much as everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what she said. They're decent. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad they have an outlet. I actually wonder about Vimeo too, because Vimeo at least has people who have the gear to make good shit. Like it's usually for professional filmmakers. Like I knew one, and he always put his stuff on Vimeo because it was, what did he say? It was like more prestigious or some shit than YouTube. He was a little bit pretentious, but whatever.
Well, it's like what's that website for concept art?
Conceptart.org.
No, well, I don't think that's wrong.
Are you talking about ArtStation?
ArtStation, yeah.
Oh, Concept Art's still around. Yeah.
I feel like Vimeo is like ArtStation.
Yeah, it's kind of for filmmakers, I guess, by filmmakers. It feels very catered. What's your secret? The YouTube horror movies? Yeah, I've noticed that. What really is weird to me is, as somebody that posts to YouTube, YouTube will sometimes be like, hey, come over to this area, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it says artist studio, right? Gabe, you've probably seen this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh yeah, artist studio, cool, you guys are finally catering to... And then I look and it's musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just musicians. I'm like, oh, you mean musical artists. You know, you say just artists. People, I would guess 99% of people would think you mean, you know, illustrators, stuff like that. Why wouldn't you say musical artists?
Or just music.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah, it's weird. I think a lot of us during college, like, were told to use Vimeo because it was a lot more. I don't know. Like, your recruiters were gonna more easily look at Vimeo than YouTube. Like, back during college, YouTube was kind of seen as a trash hole, and somehow it worked itself up from there. But yeah, now Vimeo's just kind of there. People used to put their demo reels on Vimeo because, animation directors and stuff were looking on Vimeo to find people. But now I think everybody just looks via YouTube anyway, so it doesn't even matter now. Vimeo's usually for more high quality, like, video files. Because I think YouTube only goes so far with that, but I know Vimeo can actually handle high quality video. So like I said, that's why people go there to put like their demo reels and shit, because it can be like super high quality. And I think they have like a premium plan or some crap where you can get even higher. I don't know.
I feel like they also, I feel like YouTube used to, well, they would limit your stuff, right?
I thought so. I don't know if they still do.
I don't think Vimeo had that to begin with, and
Yeah.
I think also they compressed your stuff. But I
Yeah.
think now it's okay to have high-res stuff.
I could see that, Eric's, yeah. It's like that's not a true suggestion for me specifically. You're just trying to give me what's popular. They do that with, if you have Spotify, with Discover Weekly, they kind of do that too. They'll give you a few artists that really cater to you and your style, but then they'll throw in someone new. So I remember hearing somebody, I think it was actually Billie Eilish, and they gave her to me, and it was like on a Sneaker Pimps playlist or something. And I was like, oh, yo, blah, 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 blah. And then like 2 weeks later, she, blew up. And I was like, wait a minute. You guys were just trying to make her blow up, So, I don't know. Yeah, I get irritated at that crap too. I was just like, man, my tablet pen sounds like a marker. And then I realized I have the marker tip in. Like an idiot. Never took out the marker tip. Can you close all the... Gabe, what about Panera? No? Night, Eric. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the convo. Hope you have a good day. Thank you. I think my other dose of allergy meds finally kicked in. Finally. Took a long time. You working on anything right now, Serenity? If you don't want to, we don't have to.
No, it's all good.
Oh, really? That's great. What's the video of? Nice. Good job keeping up with that. How are you liking your Patreon so far? When do you want to get it, Gabe?
Whenever you're ready.
Well, I guess I'm ready whenever you're hungry. If that makes sense. Okay. So if you want to order it and go get it. No, but you're doing a lot, you know? Do you think having Patreon helped you to, I don't know, develop maybe a schedule or like more accountability for what you do? Do you think that has helped you, or do you think it's hindered you? Mushy, you are so smushing right now. Oh, Kristen, did you see my message? Maybe you did, and you answered. Yeah. No envelope. Okay, So I'm actually wondering, because I got this, I have informed delivery, and it said that your envelope got returned to my P.O. box, and I haven't been there yet to check. But sometimes it says I get something and then I don't. But I was wondering if you got it anyway, but I don't know what's wrong. Because I know it was a little bit heavier than a regular envelope, so I added extra postage to it. So I don't know why it would get returned to me. So I'm gonna have to go check that out, I guess. Rooney. I know, it was super weird. So I'm not sure what went wrong, but I'll have to go check. At this point, I guess it has to be Monday. Unless I can get up and go before noon tomorrow. What? Actually, I might be able to do it tomorrow. Yeah? Why are you cooing? Hmm? That's good, Serenity.
Hey, quiet.
Yeah, damn. I mean, damn, Rooney. Damn.
Rooney, I'll throw you outside with the barn animals.
I guess we have barn animals.
No,
Does she have to go out?
I don't know.
Rooney, what's wrong? You gotta go potty? You gotta go poops? See, you have that look like you want to go night-night. And that's her. No, I don't want a nap, Mama. I don't want a nap.
Do you have an account?
Yes. Is it me that ordered it last time? Okay. Yeah.
That's just under hard shell.
No. Why would it be under hard shell? What?
Not the Starbucks extension.
Well, it's probably a digital. Did you put in digital? Alright, hold on. Like I said, if you're cool, you can just order the same things. Oh my god, how do you look at this at an angle like this?
To it.
Do you want the same thing as before?
Yeah.
What?
It still does.
It says everything's out. Like even the pasta.
It's a Saturday night. Probably
It's
close.
Friday.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I guess we don't get any
I think
Here's
it
what's weird.
closed in like 2 hours.
So, they have a pasta section, but the macaroni is with soups and mac. Why is the mac and cheese with the soup and not with the pasta? Seriously!
I think because maybe pasta gets tossed around more. Also, I think because you can get mac as a side and soup as a side.
You want something else?
Sure.
Or do you just want to hear
If you can think of something else.
Dover?
I can't drive that far.
Oh, is it far?
I mean, that's an hour's worth.
Ew, no. Gross. guess I'm cool. I hope this is funny for you guys. If it's not, if she gets annoying, just tell me. We'll do something. She gets so whiny.
Where's Butters?
Isn't she with you?
Butters? Drag me to hell.
Okay. Ah, Kristen, you so nice.
Butters.
Hi, Eliza. Oh, Eliza coming in reminded me of a tweet I did the other day where I raged. I don't know if you guys know this, but the new character in Frozen, this little salamander, is named my dog's name, Bruni. I am so upset about this. People are gonna think I named my dog after this damn movie character. And I actually spent time like looking for this name because I didn't want like a basic bitch dog name, right? Like, damn. I know. Sneeze. Anyway, I took to Twitter. I've been ranting more on Twitter lately and I shouldn't. But damn it, some shit, let me tell you. No, I'm still poking at stuff. I should probably log off, but I'm just drawing this stuck. It's called a stuck. I mean, anybody would be irritated by that, right? Like, if you took time to find a dog name and you, like, totally love it and it totally fits your dog, and the new name that Disney chooses doesn't even fit this character because the name meaning doesn't even, like, have anything to do with this character. Ugh. Well, see, that's the thing, though. They had to be making Frozen 2, like, a long time ago. So they technically probably named that character Bruni years ago, I'm guessing. So it just sucks that, for some reason, I don't know, they named it that. Because it means brown, but the character's blue and icy. So I'm just hella confused. I don't know why they would do that. And it's Italian. I mean, unless this salamander is Italian, I don't know. Yeah, I remember Wild Thornberries. What happened? Did you get in on that? Did you find that ship? I just don't want people thinking that we're like, we named our dog after that character. Like, this gonna suck. really people got on your case about that? That seems so obscure. You should have just been like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? And they'd be like, you never seen that show? You're like, no. Then they're like, oh. And then, like, it's just done. Did people think that your mom named you Eliza after that character, though? Dude, my mom almost named me Ariel, and it was, like, before Little Mermaid came out. You know how much shit I would have gotten? Oh my god. So I think Little Mermaid came out in 89? Pretty sure? And I was born in 86. So that's just enough time for people to think, oh, you're born here and you're Ashley Ariel. Same shit. Oh, because of Serenity? That's kind of fair, though. That is the only, like, mention of Serenity that I can think of in pop culture. So I could see people, oh my god. I actually wanted to rage on some people earlier, but then I don't start internet fights anymore. But, this artist put up this piece he did for, you know, this monthly challenge. It's for the character design group on Facebook. He put up his piece, and I shit you not, like, the first couple comments was, this reminds me of, and then they were all just, yeah, and this reminds me of this, and this reminds me of this, and that's all they would say. They wouldn't comment on the work itself. They wouldn't say even if they liked it or anything like that. They just wanted people to know that they thought it reminded them of something. And that blew my mind. Like, it blew my mind that somebody would do that. I would almost rather have somebody just write, I don't like this, than to say, this reminds me of something. Like, are you serious? It is like, there's no thought there. Like, I don't know you. Do you like or hate that thing? It's the most, like, it doesn't tell me anything about how you feel about the art. It just tells me you think it reminds you of something. Like, why is that a thing? You know? It's the worst. What show with the spaceship? Like, I'm thinking of a really old one called Andromeda. I think it was Andromeda. Gabe.
What?
What are you doing?
I don't know what.
Oh wait, do you mean, oh, Serenity the spaceship. You mean Firefly. I was thinking of Futurama. I don't know why, but yeah, that's what it made me think of. You said spaceship, I thought of Andromeda, and I thought of Futurama. But yeah, the whole, this reminds me of this, doesn't help any artist at all and doesn't make you look good. I don't understand why people do that. Like, especially at conventions, if somebody says that and I've never heard of whatever they're referring to, I'm just like, oh, I haven't heard of that. And then they're like, huh, okay. And that's it. Like, what a conversation killer. Like, if I don't know what you're talking about, what? Just tell me if you like the damn art or not, man. I really, like, telling me what it reminds you of will not help at all. Actually, Serenity, I never thought you named yourself after anything. I thought you just liked the alliteration with scribbles, and I thought you just liked Serenity. But I did know that you're an introvert, so serenity made sense. Like that you'd want to be serene, you know. Damn, Eliza, have you not seen Firefly? I feel like you would have been the type to see that. You seem to like geekdom. Well, it makes sense why it annoyed you. A, it didn't tell you how they felt about your art, and B, it didn't help anything. Basically, it's a way for people to say, oh, look how many things I know because I know this reminds me of this. It's like, oh my god. Oh, that's right, it's morning for you. My bad. You need your time to wake up. I totally get it. That's fair. I think that's how Gabe is too. I just remembered I was gonna do this in watercolor. Digital watercolor, and I already forgot. So, I might just apply a watercolor texture. See if we can do that. Only downside to streaming while working is you forget shit like that. You're on autopilot a lot of the time. Yeah, Serenity, maybe you just need to get a night job. Like Sniggle. Sniggle works nights. He goes to bed at like, what, 7 a.m.? Something like that? Maybe you need something like that. Have you ever thought about working overnight, though? I forget. You work at a bakery, right? Or where? Gabe, where's Serenity work again?
I don't remember. All I remember is that she cleans stuff. I think. And we're off.
Check on Butters. Restaurant with bakery included. So probably like a Perkins. Yeah, you can actually hear the thunder. That's a real thunderstorm this time. We got the doors open. However, the crickets are in the song. Hold on. Yeah, I'm saying effing Tober this year. I don't see it as a proving ground anymore. I feel like it's almost too saturated. Which is good. Like, I'm happy for Jake Parker. That's good for him. But I think I don't know, monthly challenges, don't take this the wrong way, Eliza, but I feel like monthly challenges are for people who either need like help getting in the swing of drawing more often, or they need to challenge themselves with another medium, you know, stuff like that. Most people. Eliza, you're obviously a outlier. You're different. Because, I mean, otherwise, you know, it's a proving ground also to get yourself out there and to use hashtags and all that stuff. I have come to the point I don't feel like I need to do that anymore. Especially since I did the same technical Inktober theme for 3 years in a row, and I have yet to make the book. So until I make the book, I'm not going back. Maybe I'll do it again someday, I don't know. But yeah, the thunder you hear is real. Watch Butter, she might book it.
Oh my gosh. Bye.
And let her, like, nuzzle under your, like, hold her butt, hold her close. Butters will usually start running if she hears thunder, and then she'll try to find a place to hide. So we try to grab her before she can run somewhere. You don't want your pup to be alone. Hiding behind a toilet. Is that where she was?
Yeah. It's in the wall.
Oh, poor Butter. She doesn't cry. No, not really. She does this thing where it's like a... it's like a grumble almost, but that's only like if you pick her up when she's trying to run, kinda. And then she trembles. If it's a big thunder crack and you're holding her, she'll tremble. She's gotten a lot better since we started holding her when it happens, so I'm happy about that. The poor thing. Okay, I needed some quick watercolor texture, so grab this. This is a way to do this if you just want the texture. Take this a bunch of times. Got it on a watercolor texture site. And then a way to make sure it doesn't look like repeated is take the healing brush and to take away the really distinct parts and to leave a few others. Hi, baby. Like, obviously, you can tell it's repeating because of these. So grab those. And this, these guys. And then if you want to make your own kind of down here, that's an option. I was going to use the watercolor effect, but I've already painted too much. Because I have this really awesome watercolor brush, but I already painted like that entire thing there. So now I'm just gonna...
Big one.
Huh? What?
Might be a big one.
Thundercrab? Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Why don't you get scared? It's okay. Oh, yeah. You okay? It's okay. Oh, no, it's okay. I got you. I got you. Don't be afraid. See? Oh, what am I doing here? Let's see. Kind of like the linear burn. If I do the linear burn, I want it to be too obvious. It's okay, honey. It's okay. I got you. Yeah, you're okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh. She's the type to dig her head into your chest, though. She's scared. It's okay. I got you. Okay. It's alright. Yeah, it just sucks because these aren't exactly what I wanted them to be. Maybe it's just on here. Did you just lick my screen? What are you doing? If I just did... Let's see what happens if I just actually do that much. No, Butters, don't lick the screen, sweetheart. You don't gotta do that. Alright, never mind, I don't like that at all. I'll do this, I think, when I'm fully done. Are you serious, Eliza? Call animal welfare on her. Yeah, A, you shouldn't get a pet on a whim, and B, you should never tie that animal up.
It's a different country, though.
Yeah, well, she shouldn't be doing that.
Shit.
Huh?
Shouldn't.
Yeah, that's not okay. I'm pretty sure that might be animal abuse. Like, it could be neglect if she's not actually paying attention to it at all. I mean, how much do you like your cousin, Eliza? Real talk.
Yep.
Well, she can't. She's not in a position to. But you can absolutely report her for neglect.
But that's what I'm saying, though. She's in the Philippines. Like, they might not have the same...
Yeah, but they also might.
Yeah.
So
If
I
they do, yeah.
I wouldn't want to border on the chance that they don't. It's okay. It's okay. You really don't? That's so fucked up. Well, you could do something about it. Maybe behind her back, find someone that would take good care of the dog. Then, when she's not around, go steal the dog without her knowing, give it to somebody better for the dog, and then let her think that the dog ran away. Like, leave a door cracked open or something, and she'll think the dog left. I mean, I wouldn't normally say steal the dog, but if the dog is really not in good care, yeah, steal the dog. Fuck lawful good. I guess I'm chaotic lawful? I don't know. Or chaotic good? Because, I mean, do whatever's best for the dog. If that means stealing it to place it in a better home, yeah. It's not about your cousin, though. It's about the dog. F this being a teachable lesson. The dog is a life. She needs to not worry about herself and worry about the dog. Because, I mean, in that case, she's just going to not pay attention to the dog till it dies, and that's not her problem anymore. So save the dog. How many cousins you got? Okay, this chick doesn't need any more pets. Wait, why does Gabe know it's up?
It's like I mean, it's also a Mexican thing, but it's I feel like brown people just have a lot of babies all the time.
What does that have to do with pets?
Cousins.
Oh. I see.
Could also be a Catholic thing. I don't know.
I think it's a Catholic thing. Because the Catholics I know, they don't believe in birth control. You might need to close the door. Now it's a downpour. Well, Gabe, since you have, like... Since you have restrictions on what you want to... where you want to go, why don't you decide what we eat?
I'll probably just eat here since it's raining really quick.
No, they believe it's not a good thing to do. Like, they believe if you get pregnant, you're supposed to be pregnant, and that's a, God's baby. Like, they don't use birth control. A lot of them. I think stealing her dog to give to someone who will love it is the right thing to do. That's what I think. Because if she's done this before, and she's done it with cats, and you could see her doing the same thing with this dog, I would trust myself, were I you, to find a better owner for the dog than I would with her finding someone. Because who knows what'll happen to it if, she gives it to the wrong person. Like, she'd probably put it on Craigslist, and one of our dogs came from Craigslist, technically, and got given to a hoarder. So she was saved from a hoarding situation because of Craigslist. So you never know. That's why we're saying, you do it, Eliza. You're smarter than your cousin, apparently. Your cousin sounds not very smart. Oh my god, what the... Yeah, especially if she's a psychopath. I mean, you don't get much more red flag than she's a psychopath. Okay. Well, she's a psychopath. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't get a golden because they are a big dog. And as we know from big dogs, they're hungry all the time. They're super duper different. Especially if she doesn't live in a very big area. Like if she's in an apartment or something, that dog is gonna overtake it. And then she'll want it even less because of that reason. Really? You gotta be like this? Mushy. You want me to get somebody to come steal you? Huh? Huh? That's what I thought. You got it good. I cook you dinner and breakfast. You have it good. See, on the flip side, my dog is mega spoiled. Rooney disagrees with everything. The Chancho doesn't take her shit, though. They fight. What about the Thai place, Gabe? Or is there something better? Pizza? Then you don't have to go out. And we could give someone a nice big tip. Then again, the last time I had pizza, I regretted it. Yeah, absolutely dog nap it. But before you do, unless it's in immediate danger, I would totally find someone to take it so it's just a handoff. You know? Like, if you don't have anywhere for that dog to go and you can't have animals where you are, then you're going to get in trouble. So I would rather you quickly find someone, you know, that can take the dog. If you can keep it, Eliza, do it. Like, I thought the whole reason you didn't get a dog, though, is because you couldn't. Like, because your place wasn't allowing it or something? Or am I wrong? Because, yeah, if you can keep it. Just never have your stupid cousin come over. Yeah, I'm of the same mindset. Of Eliza, go get the good food when you feel bad. Whatever, Serenity. Well, maybe take the dog, as long as it's out of danger. That's what we're trying to get here. So maybe take the dog, maybe keep it for a week, see how things go. Then again, it is a puppy. I think you gotta bring it to a shelter or something. Do you guys have shelters? Bring it to someone that can find it a good home. If you think you can't give it a good home, bring it to someone who can. Okay? If you want to make that sacrifice, because dogs are a sacrifice. If you like that idea and it feels more good than bad, I say try it. And if you have any dog questions, we're here to help. I have a lot of experience with dogs. But anything to get it out of that situation with your cousin, except Craigslist. If you do find you need to give it up, find it an appropriate shelter to bring it to, or like a humane society, because they're going to at least be able to try to find someone, legally. So.
Or maybe just ask her if you can have it.
Well, no, because here's the problem with that. She asked her if she can have the dog.
Oh, she did.
The girls say, no, I'm saying, this is what would happen. She asked her if she can have the dog. She says no, because she's a narcissist and she thinks she can take care of it. So says Eliza. So if this chick's a narcissist, she thinks she can handle it. She's going to tell Eliza no. Dog disappears. Who do you think took it? So if Eliza takes the dog just for its well-being, then, she just opens a door and makes it look like, oh no, it ran away. Oh, she already asked her and she said no. How long ago was that, Eliza? So you might have to wait a bit. Okay, if she forgot about it, then go do it. I'm gonna go because I'm, really hungry. But take the dog. Find a good place for the dog. If she's really treating it badly, find a better place for the dog. I'm probably going to tone down the colors on this. This is a bit much. Otherwise, Gabe's going to be gone next week, so... What?
Lightning coming.
Thunder. Gabe's gonna be gone next week. He's gonna be at New York. So if anybody's gonna be there, he'll be there. So no stream on his side of things. But I'll try to stream. Cerrone says have fun at the con, Gabe.
Thank you.
He says thank you. But yeah, Eliza, if you have any more questions or your dilemma worsens, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later, okay? Thank you for coming! Bye! Bye. Bye. And Bruni says bye. Have a good weekend. Bye.